So here is flaw number 3. The people most likely to watch a televised debate between political candidates are the most committed members of the electorate, and thus the most likely to have already made up their minds about whom to support. Furthermore, following a debate, uncommitted viewers are generally undecided about who won the debate. Hence, winning a televised debate does little to bolster one's chances of winning an election. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of pick this argument apart so we can see, what's the conclusion? How does the reasoning support the conclusion? And are there any flaws or gaps? Like what can we kind of anticipate before we look at our answer choices? So our conclusion here would be signaled by the word hence in the last paragraph. That's a really nice indicator of a conclusion, a main conclusion. So, hence or therefore, winning a televised debate does little to bolster one's chances of winning an election. And how do they get there? Why does it do very little to bolster one's chances? It does. They link this back to following a debate. Uncommitted viewers are generally undecided about who won. So, since uncommitted viewers are generally undecided, winning a televised debate does little to bolster one's chances. So now we're trying to think about, how do we get to uncommitted viewers? What they go ahead and say before is that people who watch televised debates are, probably already making up their minds. And the people who haven't made up their minds usually don't know who won. They have no idea who won the debate. So if you won, it doesn't really help you win the election. So they're saying, it's kind of pointless to win a televised debate because, maybe whatever side you're on, people have already made up their minds. And if they haven't made up their mind about who to vote for, they probably aren't going to know, like they're undecided about who won the debate. So we're trying to think about what makes this argument really vulnerable. What is the flaw in this argument? I'll give you a little snippet to think about here. So we know that we're trying to figure out what's the lack of connection here. What's the disconnect? So, we get from uncommitted viewers are undecided, decided viewers are pretty much they've already made up their minds. But, if they made up their minds, are we sure that the winning the televised debate is not going to sway them? Are we sure that, uncommitted viewers, they might not know who won, but maybe it'll make them watch another debate and maybe that'll help them decide? I don't know. Maybe they'll go and attend an event after they've heard what they've seen. We don't really know. There's a lot of other factors here. So we're just going to kind of go through our answer choice and see what do we like or dislike. A, watching an exciting debate makes people more likely to vote in an election. So, this might be helpful. You know, Great, exciting debates. We don't know if our debate is going to be exciting. And the author is really talking about, how do we bolster chances of winning? And so this actually doesn't really help us, even if there's more voters. Maybe they're voting for someone random, or maybe they leave the box blank. They could still be undecided. You still might have the same exact result. So this doesn't really help us address the issue of, winning an election. B, the voting behavior of people who do not watch a televised debate is influenced by reports about the debate. So they're saying winning a televised debate does little to bolster one's chances. So, that means like this relates to our answer choice by saying influenced. But so the televised debate still has influence even if you didn't watch the election. So this is looking like a really interesting answer choice because it does relate to our main conclusion here. I mean, helping us get a different view of, why winning a televised debate might actually help one's chances rather than, doing very little. So we'll kind of look at our other answer choices to see what else is at play. C, there are differences of opinion about what constitutes winning or losing a debate. So this is interesting. It does get to our premise right before, being undecided about who won, but we're not really sure how this helps anybody. We're still not getting it to bolstering our chances of winning or not bolstering our chances. People are probably undecided because they don't know what constitutes winning or losing. So this is just going to add on to the rest of our argument, but is not going to affect our conclusion. D, people's voting behavior may be influenced in unpredictable ways by comments made by participants in a televised debate. So this might be true. We do have influence in voting behavior, but we don't know what this means about the chances of winning the election. We also don't know. Well, this is similar to being that they both have the televised debate influencing people. But the comments, I love how they say in predictable ways. The comments might get us in unpredictable ways. So it might help us win, it might help us lose. This one is, it also says may be influenced. It's totally possible that it just has no effect at all. So, this might support the argument. It could, hinder the argument. It kind of does both. This is not going to be, the most vulnerable place because, based on how we spin it, if we were the author, we could spin it to support ourselves as well. So we'll kind of give ourselves a little question mark here and come back to it. E, people who are committed to a particular candidate will vote, even if their candidate is perceived as having lost the debate. This would actually strengthen our argument because we know if people are already committed to their decisions beforehand, they're not going to jump ship, they're going to vote. And so that would say why winning a televised debate does very little. It's now between B and D, and we're trying to pick the better answer choice. We're trying to figure out, which one is going to help us destroy the argument. So if we look at D, people's voting behavior may be influenced in unpredictable ways by comments made by participants in a televised debate. So I think it might be influenced. It's still possible that it's not going to influence whatsoever. Since there's a possibility that it would not, that would actually support the argument and it's not going to totally destroy our argument. But if we look at B, the voting behavior of people who do not watch it is influenced by reports. They're saying, well, we've talked only about the people who have watched it, but if it's influencing people who do not watch the debate, that's going to be really interesting. It's affecting people who maybe didn't watch it, but they see reports about it, and that gets influenced. So they're saying, that would, influence the chances of winning the election, might even potentially bolster it. So we would go with B because this is a much more robust way to fight the argument's conclusion and just completely destroy our argument.